So welcome back, everyone. I guess it's been about a year ago I did a video, I think it was titled, "Is Your Drinking Water Safe?" And what I was sharing with you guys in that video was the ceramic style, gravity style water filter. Well, now I've had a chance to use it. Actually, it's been probably, I'm guessing, but about a year or so that we have used this for our drinking water on a daily basis and really have lived with it. And so I can kind of tell you more about it or share my experience with it. My experience with this filter has been excellent. Now, whether you get this particular brand here, the Aqua Rain, or there's the Berkey, or there's the, I believe, the Pro Pure, they're all essentially the same thing. And what it is, if you're not familiar with it, is it's more than a water filter. It's actually considered water treatment. And what they have is ceramic. If you look inside, they're ceramic filters that simply filter, 99.999% of all the things we don't want to drink. I do believe I may have mentioned that these filter fluoride. I do not believe they do. I know that Berkey has an additional canister that you can screw on top of their filters. I believe that you can filter out the fluoride. And if you are on municipal water, and that is something that that you are ingesting or feeding your children, you really need to take a hard look at that. Educate yourself and find out if you think that that's something that you guys should be drinking. I personally would not want it. But us being on our own well, we chose this filter not because our water isn't potable, but we just did not like the taste of it. It had a lot of minerals in it. And rather than going to all the expense, and which is considerable, of reverse osmosis and all these treatment systems with filters that you need to rebuy, my motto has always been, or I've adapted the motto of pen fishing reels: make it simple, make it work. And this just doesn't get much simpler. It doesn't require any electricity. It's just a very simple design and very, very effective. And the water that comes out of it is just fantastic and delicious to drink. So the only thing that I've had to do to this filter is probably about once every 3 months or so it gets silted up. These filters, and I can tell because it takes a lot longer for the water to drip down through it. It drips down through the 4 ceramic filters into just, as you can see, just a basin here, and then you drink from that. So I have pre-filters. I have 2 10-micron filters that the water goes through from the well or the spring, whatever we're using, before it goes in here. But there still is a really, really fine sediment that gets through those filters, which clogs up the ceramic. The nice thing about these ceramic is that they're super simple to clean. You can just clean them here, and I'll demonstrate how to do that here in just a second. Clean it with just your hands using some water, and just use them over and over and over again. I don't know what the lifespan you would get on your filters, but I can tell from ours, because I clean them very gently, that they're going to last a long, long time. So it's been really a great value, way better than for us to buy bottled water and going through all that hassle. So let's break them down, and I'll kind of show you how to clean them real quickly, and we'll finish up with my thoughts and considerations on which one to get and why. So again, you can see right here are the filters, and how you replace them or take them out for cleaning. You can see in the back there are 4 wing nuts. You can buy these with 1, 2, or 4. I would spend a little bit extra money and get the 4. It just filters twice as fast, but be very careful. I just take these gently out, and you can see here this is the ceramic filter element. You can see there's an O-ring on there, and then that's what seals it up. This here, you want to be careful and not to over tighten these. They're really fragile, and I wouldn't jostle these things around. These filters are pretty heavy, and this is just a plastic thread right here, and by banging it around, that could break off, and then you'll ruin your filter. But what the problems I can have, you can see right here is the bottom is this really fine, it's almost like a mud. Right there, you can see that right on my finger. It starts to slow down the water as it filters through there. And the nice thing about it is it just simply comes off with water, and I don't really have to get in and really aggressively scratch or clean this filter. What what brings an end of life to these ceramic filters is how much of the ceramic material that you remove. Actually, when you buy this particular one, it came with a plastic gauge that you kind of snap over this, and once you removed enough of that ceramic that the gauge no longer fits tightly, it was time to replace these. And it did also come with a Scotch Brite pad. That's those green pads you see. Oftentimes you'll have them for washing dishes. You see kind of a green scratchy pad that they've applied to this. But these filters are pretty expensive, so running them through a cheap Home Depot style pre-filter to get out all the big things that would come in and foul this, I think, is a good investment, because I think it just really extends the longevity of this filter. So let's get this thing cleaned up. I'll show you how I do it. So when you're cleaning out your filters, I want to make sure that always the outlet right here, this is where the fresh water comes out. I don't want to fill this up with water. You know, who knows what's coming out of the tap, or you don't want to get any contaminants in there. So I always try to keep this kind of pointed down. But just simply using, you can do this at the sink or the garden hose, just gently wipe this back and forth, and you can just see all of that silt coming off of there. So once we get the filters cleaned, I mean, just pretty basic, just like we uninstalled them. And I really want to reiterate the importance of not over tightening this little plastic wing nut. Just firm it up there. You can just kind of feel it, and just be gentle, and I wouldn't overly jostle this with the filters installed. The price of these filters, these replacements, are about, I just checked online, but whether it's the Berkey or the Aqua Rain, I think they're interchangeable, is about $150 or so, give or take, for the set of 4. Now, if you are careful with them and really take care of them and clean them gently, the Q&A from Aqua Rain I was just reading, they said you can expect to clean these things on upward of 200 times or better. And I think that having a pre-filter, you can probably even extend that, because just by a very gentle cleaning, not using any abrasives, not using the Scotch Brite pad, if you can get away with it, and just clean them with your fingers, is going to be probably the best way. You know, everybody's conditions are going to be different. You know, it really depends on what's in your water. You know, the nice thing about these is they're really good in an emergency. If you need to drink water out of a river or a lake or hot water heater or swimming pool, you know, all of that is an option with this filter system, you know, not requiring any water. That's why these things are so popular with missionaries who use them in remote areas, is they just don't require expensive cartridges and all of that nonsense. They're just really simple, basic, and they just work excellent. So if you don't already have one of these gravity style ceramic filters, you really need to consider getting one. Not just for emergency preparedness, because it's nice for that, or even some smaller versions for camping, because you just have that peace of mind, you know. But if you're drinking water from municipal supplies, you really need to think about having one of these and having some control. It's a peace of mind of what's going into not only your own body, but your kids and your family. I think that next to shelter, this is one of the fundamental things that all of us who are preparedness minded need to consider having. So which one would I buy? I would buy, I think they're all good quality, the 3 that I mentioned, whether it's the Aqua Rain or the Berkey or the Pure or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. I mentioned it in the 3rd one, but they're essentially the same technology. I would make sure that you get the 4 filters and not the 2, because the 4 just is so much faster. We go through, I think this is about a 2.5 gallon or so, and we go through about 2.5 gallons of water a day at peak use, and that's in the summertime, and maybe a little bit less in the wintertime. And this is able to maintain that and keep that up. But I would be just as happy with the Berkey, either one. I would buy whichever one I got the best deal, whoever had the best price. I would be happy with either one of them. One thing that I would add that we added was the sight glass. You see right here? This one actually, I got the wrong one. I ordered online, and I don't know if I ordered the wrong one or they sent me the wrong one, but it's too tall. you know, it should only go there. But what's nice about this is when you're adding to the water on the top, you don't really know what the level is in the bottom without picking this up and looking inside. So having the sight glass, go ahead and order that. Or if you can't spend all that money, you can always add that later. But it just shows you the level. So if I see that this is half full, you know, I'm not going to fill this all the way up and then have it run over at night and ruin the floor. So that is worth having. It's just nice to kind of to keep an eye on things. But and I would not get anything less than 2.5 gallon. I would go the big Berkey. I think it's 2 1/4, 2.5, somewhere around there. I would get up into the 3.5, 3 gallon size if you can. The filters are all the same, so you're not going to pay that much more for the stainless steel canister. But an excellent product, and now that I've had a year to test drive it and we use it every day, I just think it's just a must-have item. Cost overall, I don't think I mentioned that, you're going to be probably around $175. So I think I said you can buy the 4 filters for about $150. They can be cleaned 200 times or better. So it's a great value. So $25, you're basically paying for the canister. So size it up, get the biggest one that you can. And if you really wanted to save some money, you could make your own using some buckets, just buying the filters, drilling the holes. You could do that. But you know, for the money, I don't think that it's a bad deal. So I think we gave about $175 for this one, and I think that that's more than reasonable. So get one, or get the equivalent of it. It is something that's really important to have for your family. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.